Today's Wednesday, May 23rd, 2018.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds, when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway? Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you, everybody. Good to be here. Oh, it's good to be here. Thank you. All of you fictitious people out there, this is when, whenever that thing comes on, that craziness of the Geraldo audience or whatever that can thing is, I don't know what to do. I get freaked out. There's like things going on this screen, that screen. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I get overwhelmed and excited. It is good to be here this Wednesday morning. I want to first and foremost thank you for joining me today or whenever you are tuning into the show. Remember, this podcast, is a weekly production produced by me, myself, and I. And it is the show that brings you the week's worth of news content so that you don't have to look at it every day. Come on, how much noise do you get every single day? Too much, right? It's a bunch of crap out there. And it just gets flooded into your inbox, into your Twitter feed, whatever. This is just 1 week. It's nice and easy. So this is your time to catch up on what's going on when it comes to news for elevators, escalators, moving walkways, all that good stuff. So yesterday I was really excited about the show today. Last night I was like, you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited to share some information with you, and it has probably more to do with non-elevator stuff, and it's something I'm very passionate about. I want everybody, this Monday is Memorial Day for us in the United States. I know that Canada held theirs or had theirs this past Monday, their Patriot Day. And I just want to remind everybody how important it is. And I wasn't always like this, but it's so important that we remember our loved ones. We remember our friends, our family members who served our country, who are no longer with us, whether they perished in combat, in conflict, during peacetime. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. They served our country without question, and we must remember them. And it's so important because things could have turned out differently after World War II or World War I or the Vietnam War or the Korean conflict or any of those for that matter. And it's so important we do not forget these young or older men and women who are no longer with us. So keep those memories alive. And I know it's one of those things where, and I say it every year, I'm going to say it every year, and I share those stories every year with my family members because I just think it's important. I don't want my kids to ever forget them. I don't want the world to forget them because they are unforgettable. And as long as we keep those memories alive, we keep the photos alive, just keep doing it. Share somebody who served our country, who is no longer with us, with somebody. Do it on Facebook. Just keep that going. Please do that for me. My sharing, I'm going to share with you, which really hits home, and this is something that a photograph is worth what do they say? That's early. Worth 1,000 words. Here's a photo. I'm going to switch over for those of you watching on the YouTube feed. This is a photo of Lauren Gregory, who is my great uncle, as I try to figure that out. This is a photo of him. Lauren Jerome Gregory. He was aged at 16 years old in Manila. This was taken October 1941. This is the main photo of the post. 6 months later, he would be walking in the Bataan Death March in 1942, turning 17 years old that May, dying in a Japanese camp in August 1942. My youngest son is turning 16 on June 5th. I cannot imagine, and I this is something I asked the kids. I'm like, can you imagine being in a war, joining the army at that age? And at that age, I guarantee it was a much more noble effort. We were fighting the bad guys. It was one of those deals where, the country was united in ways that it had not been united before. So it's just, keep those memories alive, please. And let's not forget our heroes, our soldiers, our family members, because it would be a tragedy if we ever did that. So keep the photos alive, the memories alive, and remember your loved ones, all of them, your friends, your family. On Memorial Day, on Monday, thank a vet if you find one, if you see one, and that's my happy talk of the day. And glad to do that, and I will do my part as well. Okay, moving on to elevator-related news. It was great to see many of you at the Chicago Elevator Association fundraiser last Thursday. Great event. Thank you to the sponsors who helped support that event. And just nice to catch up with some friends that I had not gotten a chance to catch up with for a while. So thank you, and greatly appreciate that. Got a few articles in the show today worthy of sharing, and also worthy of some excellent commentary by me, myself, and I. Which might have you scratching your head going, So we'll have you out of here in no time after we get into those. And as always, again, thanks for tuning in, whether you're tuning into the podcast link on iTunes, Blueberry, whatever various podcatchers there are out there, or if you are doing it some other way, YouTube, Vimeo, whatever, this is being picked up. We appreciate that. So get into the news next and have you out of here in about 25 minutes.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
All right, ABC Action News reporting in Tampa Bay, apparently 2 dead after falling 70 feet in elevator lift collapse in Naples. Details are a little sketchy, and this actually happened or was reported May 9th, which was a while ago, actually. Yeah, we did cover this story before. Not a whole lot to update. OSHA is investigating, but it looks as if it was some type of construction lift and just kind of gave way. So again, just as a reminder, no matter what the details are or what the deal is, make sure that you're safe each and every day. That's the message to be shared with you, and make sure you share that with those you work with. Okay, next news article. I'm not going to let everybody watch this this video on your own. And let me just pause it before it blares and everybody's.
We're continuing.
Okay, I'm going to let everybody watch this on your own. I give this is an important article, and obviously I don't have all the details. I'm just watching it as many of you out there, but it involves DC elevator inspections in the process, concerning whether or not it puts your safety at risk. I give the gentleman who was interviewed for this, who is considered the whistleblower, and his name is Audric Payne, who is an elevator inspector who has been trying to make things better at the DCRA, Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs. He's the one trying to shed light on the fact that the inspection agency there isn't doing the job that they are tasked to do. And based on what I've heard and based on the report, two things seem clear to me, although this is my opinion, so don't come after me. But the first thing is it looks as if there might be some mismanagement or just how things are done. Second thing, and I don't really know, I'm not in that type of arena or working with any of those. The second thing is something that's never addressed when things like this happen, is the funding available to hire inspectors, to train them, to also keep them on staff, and also investing in infrastructure, in software systems that would allow ease and simplicity when it comes to finding, when it comes to report processing. I got to tell you, I've been involved in other cities and towns and how they manage this, And some of the biggest cities out there just deal with it in such a paper way that it's so difficult to stay up on top of. So, but at the same time, I understand that in cities and towns and whatnot, a lot of positions that are, and commissioner positions that are, that people fill are not always done in a way that ensures that the best person for the job is actually taking over that job. I know that's kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but it's basically saying that people are appointed to positions in many cases because they know somebody or they did something during a campaign and all that good stuff. So I'm not saying this is the case in this situation, but reality is I would not want to be the person that is being grilled by the state legislator on this or the federal government or anybody, and I would not want that. So it sounds like they need definitely some improvement. And but I really give this inspector a lot of credit for coming forth and trying to make things better in his own way. So there's always room for improvement. Inspection agencies they don't have to be black holes of money loss. There are states that generate a positive revenue stream off of inspections, and if there was a way that could be transformed to other entities or some type of roadmap for that, I think we would all be a lot better in the end. So kind of an eye-opening issue, some concerning things talked about on this. Again, I don't know how much of it is actually true concerning elevators and escalators that may not pass inspection or whatever, but that are not inspected and running. But still, some serious issues raised during the article. Very eye-opening for sure. Makes you wonder what the heck's going on, and hopefully things do actually improve. But and again, you just can't throw money at things to make things improve. You definitely need people in a position that can make those changes and ensure that they're that they're correct. And there are some good people out there that do that. So I don't know. That's a lot of generalness for me in my commentary. So hopefully that all makes sense. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, the Sun, I promise not to share these kind of not stupid, but these kind of shock and awe type articles. But this is why you should never leave children attended. And this has actually happened in China, which a lot of things happen in China because there's a lot of people in China and there's a lot of their technology, their growing cities are also an issue. But anyway, apparently this is a video of a toddler getting his finger stuck in an escalator after playing around it unsupervised. Do not let your children play around anything, any piece of machinery, any piece of moving equipment unsupervised. Would you do that with a roller coaster ride? Would you do that with your vehicle, or you're going to let your kid, try to drive it? This should be common sense. And again, thank goodness we don't see more of these things these happening. Next article concerns me, another one from fireengineering.com. I did not link the actual title up in the show notes because I didn't want any more attention that could be drawn to it based on what they're showing here. This is the training minutes. I think their idea of sharing these types of instructional videos is excellent. However, not with the general riding public, or kids, or anybody out there who's an elevator enthusiast who now knows how to basically get a piece of thin coat hanger wire and try to defeat a door lock. It's scary. I mean, and again, I understand the purpose behind these. I think it's good to share this information, but put it behind some kind of paywall or put it behind something, because now it's out there. Now you're going to have every kid in the world going out there, or some enthusiast trying to defeat a door lock, and it's like, man. So again, I'm all for firefighters sharing that information, but at the same time, this stuff has got to go behind, behind some kind of paywall. And I'm sure there's more videos out there about how to do this kind of crap. But anyway, it's just not good. Next news article: are change orders in government truly an issue? This is one of those investigative reports that talks about the Massachusetts State House elevators there, and how apparently Channel 5 investigates digs nearly $500,000 in project add-ons. When they scroll through the video, and I am not one for government waste. Don't get me wrong. I do not mean to condone that whatsoever, because it's not but there's got to be some kind of percentage that is included in these types of projects. This is the Massachusetts State House. I mean, this is a mod that they're trying to ensure that they have historic restoration. And I wish that the article would have gone into something like that, that would have said, oh yeah, maybe the job had not been specified correctly, or why are we doing this instead of that? But yeah, you just wonder. I mean, if they think $500,000 is a lot, or $2,000 to paint an inside of a freight car or whatever, that's not a lot of money. And I don't mean to downplay this, but the reality is that yeah, there's a lot of waste when it comes to taxpayer dollars. There really is, and for whatever reason, I wish it weren't there, to be honest with you. But some of the numbers that are here, I would have to say, if you did deeper investigations into other departments, other projects, I have a feeling you're going to find some larger numbers that may not be accountable for, because you see it all the time. I mean, from the EPA guy that ran, that installed however much money it was for a soundproof office, the cone of silence kind of thing. To anything. And I'm not a proponent of it. I hate it. But at the end of the day, I wish that the article would have gone through and actually kind of, or the report would have gone through and actually shared why some of those had been made. And I was actually involved in that project. I would be happy to share some information from our perspective. What why that was done. So. Anyway, interesting. Okay, next article, grad hacker. If you have a child who is going, I shouldn't say a child, but a young adult who's going to college, they're probably home by now, and it's probably good to have them home, hopefully. Here's a blog post talking about how graduate school is life or like an elevator, which interesting, I guess. It's an interesting analogy. I can let everybody read that on your own. I don't necessarily think of anything as an elevator other than a lifting device, but to each their own. Anyway, next news article. This is cool. Rebooting your career. Cincinnatians in Ohio, they have there's a new, what they call a tech elevator programming boot camp, helps Cincinnatians reboot their careers. I think it's awesome. I think we need more job type training facilities and entities to help not only our young kids, but anybody who has lost their job in a field that they can know, that's definitely going downhill. I think it's awesome. I think these types of incubators and opportunities should truly be, out there. We can't all create some kind of app that, counts how many nose hairs we have or does something else silly like that. So the reality is that retooling, being open to that, and trying to find a job that you can support your family is really important. And I got to say, trades are definitely a good place to do that. Big proponent of the trades. So yeah, I think this is cool. I think we need more opportunities like this, especially for our young kids. Okay, Delaware Line has an article, man injured when elevator carriage suddenly drops as much as 8 feet. This is allegedly, apparently, I don't know really if it fell, if it got stuck or whatever, but details are in here and everything. He seems to be okay, other than the fact he's got a back injury. So wouldn't it be great to be able to put cameras in every elevator to ensure that, somebody said, oh, the elevator, elevator stopped, stalled between landings, but it actually fell and I got hurt. It would be great to be able to provide some type of documentation that would say, nope, it didn't do that, or it did do that. I think that's interesting. Next article I found was from Newsweek. Apparently, elevator intercom reads Dan Brown's inferno to Canadian subways riders. Apparently, there was some switch. I like the feedback from the TTC customer service and the person who tweeted about the elevator reading a novel. I think how she handled it was perfect. It was cute. It was witty. But the reality is how do you get a switch that turns on? Yikes. That turns on or turns off an elevator, audiobook. How does that happen? What the heck? You think there's some kind of royalties that are being missed because of it? I don't know. I just don't understand. Doesn't seem even possible. Next is article 88 in elevators. This is important. Kansas City Star. This is an article talking about Disabilities Act and not allowing people to use the elevators because there might be a press box or something like that to get up to an upper level. Preventing people from doing that is against the American with Disabilities Act, which is obviously, I think, very true. So anybody who has an elevator that serves the general riding public, you need to make sure that if there is a floor that requires some type of accessibility, which would be a press box, it is not blocked off. It is not told that it could not be used because of the American with Disabilities Act. You're going to find you're going to be in a lawsuit. So as many times as something like this happens, which is probably not too great, it's still important to remember that elevators are there to serve everyone, no matter, especially in those types of situations or buildings. And you can't say, no, take the stairs, because you never know what type of impairment anybody could have that would prevent them from using the stairs. Anyway, next news article, Hong Kong's lift and escalator fatigue test. I honestly did not read this all the way through, or actually other than the title. Let everybody read this on their own. It seems to lead that, I don't know, they've got failing fatigue test. You can read that on your own. It's lots of news and words and stuff like that. And actually it might even be behind a paywall for all I know. And next article kind of links to that, I assume. Improving safety in Hong Kong, EJ Insight, talking about new rules expected in life safety drive after recent accidents. And this is not a developing country by any means, but the reality is that interesting to see what happens in other countries in terms of their lift safety. And the government is expected to unveil measures soon to boost safety in old lifts installed in Hong Kong's buildings, taking action following a spat of accidents in recent months. The Electrical and Mechanical Department, EMSD, will announce new rules as part of efforts to improve lift safety. Hong Kong Economic Journal reports the safety drive comes after the city saw two. Okay, let's see, what are they going to do here? Okay, more. Yikes. Bad accidents for sure. What are they doing? Okay, they're demanding set up a $2 billion fund to provide subsidy assistance to help add safety equipment to lifts aged over 20. I'm not sure what kind of devices they would be, but they do have a lift and escalator safety advisory committee. So they got a bunch of other requirements in there as well. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they can actually stay on task with those. Last news article of the show, this bad day for a pickup truck and its driver. Look at the photo on this. Top of a parking garage. You'd think that they put some kind of balustrades up or some kind of pipes that would prevent something like this from happening. But apparently in Lodi, I'm not sure where Lodi is. I didn't do a chance to look it up. Oh, it's in California. Fox 40 reporting that firefighters rescued a driver from inside her pickup truck after it had fallen into an elevator shaft at the parking garage. I like how they say it had fallen. Well, it did fall, I guess, after she drove it into it. Chain broke back the window. Oh, man, sounds scary. I bet they're putting in pipes now. Kind of scary, but everybody's okay. The shaft itself was significantly damaged and may need to be demolished and rebuilt. Hey, you think your auto insurance policy would cover that? I wonder. It must, but it's going to be expensive. Anyway, well, that's going to do for the show, everybody. Again, remember Monday is Memorial Day. Remember a loved one, a friend, a family member. Keep those memories, keep those stories alive, keep those people alive in our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers, because whenever they were lost or they affected the families that they were part of, and we just want to make sure that they are remembered for their sacrifice. And that's it. So we'll be back next week. I hope everybody has a nice 3-day weekend for those of you who are not working on Monday, and we'll be back next Wednesday. So take care, everybody, and talk to you next week. Bye-bye.